how many worms, how many baits, how many whatevers can I get out of a gallon of plastic? And we have our finesse plastic. We're making an awesome color though. It's using that Lureworks mint brown, but this oh yeah, look at that. This mint brown is a gorgeous color. Okay, there is round 2. Yeah, I got worms. Welcome back to the World's Worst Fishing, everybody. I'm Chris Jones, and it's sun just went down, so it is evening time. So on tonight's video, we're going to be doing a demonstration on one of the most asked questions that I receive. Lens was a little fogged up. So one of the questions that I get the most is, hey Chris, I'm starting out. How far does a gallon of plastic go, right? How many worms, how many baits, how many whatevers can I get out of a gallon of plastic? And I've never just really wasted a gallon, well, not wasted, but I've never just sat down, cooked up an entire gallon, and just ran one thing to see how many I could get. So tonight's the night. We're going to be taking a gallon of dead-on plastic finesse blend. It's going to be the floating blend, so the featherlight blend. We're going to run a whole gallon of it, just in a single color, all in finesse worms and ribbon tails, so similar style baits, and just see how many we can get roughly. Because most gallons of plastic, you're gonna make, sorry, I'm trying to focus here. You're not just gonna make an entire gallon of just the same worm in the same color. Not normally. That gallon is gonna be split up between, you know, at least a few different molds and a few different shapes and sizes. So we're just going to kind of rotate between some finesse worms and ribbon tails and just similar baits like that. I'm not going to like get out swim baits or frogs. We're going to keep it even and just see how many average size worms a gallon of plastic will make. Alright, so got the setup tonight. We have the Angling AI Mid-Mag. That's a fat finesse worm. We have the Bass Tackle 5-inch ribbon tail worm, which actually hangs to 7-inch. So I call it a 7-inch, and then we have some more Bass Tackle molds over here. That is their 6.5-inch flat worm, I think it is. Either way, it's a finesse worm style. And we have our finesse plastic. There it is. Always dead on plastics on this channel. The Dom Perignon of Plastisol. So we have shaken this jug up quite a bit. Let's bring over our Presto, or bring it over to our Presto pot here. I just turned it on. You can see things are getting hot. And here we go. Let's transfer the goodies. Yes, sir. Boy, it's going to be a long night out here. We're making an awesome color, though. It's using that Lureworks mint brown. Oh, sexy worm color. And, you know, it's just a simple solid color. So, I think it'll be a really, really good representation of what we're trying to do. Alright, that's going to take a minute to cook. The good news is it's a soft blend, a finesse blend, so there's a lot of plasticizer in relation to resin, so it actually will cook a lot faster than, say, if this was like tube blend or saltwater blend. But either way, this is going to take a minute. I've only really ever done like a half gallon usually at the most in the pot. So I don't actually know how long this actually takes to cook. But once it's cooked up, we'll build the color and we'll start running baits. So in the meantime, I might show y'all a few things that I've been working on recently. So you guys and gals know that I love me some hand pouring. I'm a hand pour freak. And so here's just some recent stuff that I've done. These are skin poured rainbow trout. These I'm particularly proud of. This is like a 6 or 7 color monster here. Several skin layers poured all on top of each other. You can see there's black, emerald, and green layers all kind of poured together to create a pattern. Some beautiful custom Jetson eyes. Just got those in the mail. And yeah, these are pretty detailed. I'm calling this one Emerald Gill. So be on the lookout for more of those. I developed it specifically to match this eye, and I have like 200 eyes, so got a lot of those to make, I guess. And last but not least, we have these sort of copper turquoise bluegills, and you can see there's actually a little bit of color shift in one of the skin layers. So again, This is multi-skin layers kind of poured together to create a pattern. And instead of a red or orange belly, we did a turquoise belly. And that's another Jetson Eye blue squid that matches beautifully there. So just really been working on blending my layers and trying to get the colors to melt together, to blend together in a natural way and not look oversaturated and unnatural. Yep, okay, I'm tired of waiting. We are going to add our LureWorks Mint Brown. Yeah, I definitely shook that jug up a little much, but that jug was pretty old. It had been sitting a while, and I really had no choice but to mix, just shake it to get everything mixed up right. But this, oh yeah, look at that. This mint brown is a gorgeous color. I think we'll get some pretty cool looking worms with it. It's got that sort of green hue to it. If you look at the knife, it's sort of a chameleon color, really and truly. Alright, here's something you never see me do. I'm just going to dump some flake in, just till there's a lot. That is, what was that? That was this. Yeah. Alright, let's dump, or not dump, mix that in. Wow, be careful. Just slosh some of that on my finger. Getting in a hurry, folks. Getting in a hurry out here. Always wear your gloves. Don't be an idiot like me. I'm used to getting little burns here and there, but you can burn yourself badly if you are not careful with this hobby. Yep, we definitely need a lot more flake. Crazy how much flake this is going to take here. Okay, here's some more flake going in. Yeah. Looking good, looking good. Yeah, that's about right. It's a pretty good. Yeah, I love that green. Look at that green. Chameleon colors are the best. I got these bubbles all stirred up from shaking and then stirring. Shaken, not stirred. Alrighty. Now we're going to add some green flake. That's pretty sweet. Just seeing all that flake. I usually work in much smaller quantities than tonight. So, even when I was running, just sort of doing the full-time baits, it was usually never more than a half gallon at a time of any one color. So, in a way, this is kind of a first for me. As I said at the beginning of the video, I've never just taken a gallon and just done one thing by itself all together. So, yeah. Those are only surface bubbles. Like, there's actually, the plastic is not bubbly below it. That's just what happens when you stir to or shake the jug too much. There's a difference in micro bubbles from moisture versus bubbles that are stirred or shaken in. So moisture bubbles are the ones that you really got to watch out for. So in any event, we're going to actually cut the temperature down a little bit and start getting with the program. Alright, here we go. First run. Let's run through these bad boys. First up is our 10 ounce quality injector and more. We're going to see what we can get out of this and then move to some smaller injectors. Try and get one of these finesse worms here. I think we got it. Yeah. Now I know some of y'all might be thinking, Chris, where the heck is the Mondo injector? Well, I didn't want to have to push that thing tonight. It's a little hard to use sometimes. I think I can do a pretty good job with the regular injectors, to be perfectly honest. It's amazing how easy thin plastic like a finesse blend will inject. You barely have to push it all. You know, I'm used to running firmer blends. I don't mess with the finesse blends too much, but you feel like you barely have to use your injector, which is pretty sweet. Beautiful. This is such a pretty color. We're about to zoom in on the sprue openings here, and y'all can see what I mean. Yeah, see how it's kind of brown and green at the same time, and then we've added that little bit of flake for texture. I think it's a gorgeous color. Here it is on the first injector. So that's kind of well, it's not in focus. That's kind of what the color looks like right there. Okay, first mold out of mini. Drum roll, please. Let's do it. See what we got. Well, I kind of know what we got. I just want to see it. Pretty sure this was the mid-mag. Yeah. It's like I knew I had it right. Check that out. Yeah. You know, I actually could have gone lighter on the pigment, but that's okay. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Some mid-mags. So those... Oops. Got a mess over here. Those are going to go in the bath. Well, I guess I'll have to show you the bath in a different frame. But we're going to go ahead and close up the mid-mag mold and start looking at some worms. I think in the ribbon tails here, you'll be able to see the green effect where the tails get a little thinner. Yeah. So you can see there how you can see that green when the light can kind of shine through it like that. Look at that. That's freaking cool. And I'm not going to remelt sprues in this video, or runners, because in most bait making situations, anyone that's going to run production and use a gallon at a time probably is not taking the time to remelt their sprues. They're just running and hanging them by the sprues. So we're kind of going to do that tonight. You can always remelt your sprues later if you want to get every single bit out of it. But this video will kind of be a little experiment to see how many we can get. Alright, and next up we have the start of our bass tackle finesse worms here. Y'all have seen this mold a lot on my channel. If you're new and haven't seen it yet, welcome. Yeah. Gorgeous worm there. That's more your traditional size finesse worm. Oop, hit the camera there. Yes, I mean, as y'all can see, that one run, we've already got a bunch of stuff here. Tons and tons of baits. We're going to have hundreds of worms. So, yeah. Definitely stick around for this one, because this might be the most baits I've ever made in a single video tonight. There's going to be plastic flying everywhere. Yeah. Really, really cool. Alright. That is just run number one. So we turned the plastic down, and now you can see it is virtually bubbleless. You know, like I said, all those bubbles were from just stirring and the sort of heating process. You know, now that I've turned the temperature down, the plastic has cooled off a little bit, and we have virtually bubbleless plastic. No vacuum chamber needed. You know, so if you heat up a large amount of plastic and you see those bubbles like that, don't panic. You know, the only time it's a problem is if the plastic has been exposed to moisture. This being a fresh jug, we were pretty much good to go. Well, actually, the jug was old, but it had not been opened. So, in any event, well, I had opened it previous to the video, just popped the seal on it. But in any event, that right there speaks for itself. Beautiful color. Let's keep going. Round number 2. Okay, there is round 2. So we have our finesse worms from round 2. I think we're going to need a bigger bath. Yeah. And then our ribbon tails. Lovely. Okay. On to the next round. Okay, there is round 3. So all the previous rounds I've gone ahead and laid out on the table, and this is round 3 just by itself. And here we go with round number 4. Okay, a little update. I have lost count on what round I'm on, but there's kind of what we have so far. I'll actually hang those later on, but just for right now, they're chilling like that. So we have another round in the molds. Let's check on our pot, just kind of see where we are. We've actually taken it from like up here to here. So, you know, there again, that's not remelting the sprues and runners. And I have a whole cup full of just plugs from the injectors and just kind of, excuse me, little leftovers, which obviously doing a solid color, you can remelt all of that just fine. All right, round, I don't even know, I'm tired. Let's just do tired drum roll. Oh man, I'm over it. Nah, we can do better than that. All right. All right. You guys are going to be really surprised because these worms, you guessed it, are the same exact color as all the other ones. Mint brown. Alright, let's look at these. Pretty sure I know what color these are. Oh yes, they're mint brown. Yes. Got a lot of flake in that one right there. Lots of flakage. Alrighty, well anyway, we are actually almost through this pot of plastic, if you can believe it. Okay, there it is. That is our first run through the pot. You can see there's just a little bit left in the bottom, but not enough. Like, I can't physically get really any more plastic out of the pot in one of my injectors. However, you know, we still have this cup full of you know, injector plugs and just kind of, you know, little, you know, just little boogers of plastic that we're just kind of picking off here and there. So, in theory, you could have this much more remelt, plus whatever you're going to scrape, you're going to get just a giant plate of plastic. You know, it's only going to be about that thin, maybe that thin. But, you know, you can combine that and still probably get quite a few more runs. But basically, that's it. We just cycled through the whole gallon. one time without remelting this and you know, going back through it. This, what we just did, is an entire gallon. This is how much an entire gallon makes all the way through without recycling your plastic. Okay, it is the next day, and yeah, I got worms. So, any guesses real quick on how many this was without any remelt? We still have this entire cup full of injector plugs, this puck from the bottom of the pot there, plus all these runners. So that is 260 worms total. So, what do we want to do? Would y'all like to see how much I can get using all the remelt? Of course. Let's really see how far we can stretch this gallon. I wasn't going to do the remelt because I thought, you know, practically, if you're doing laminates, obviously you're not going to get the benefit of the remelt numbers. But since I did a solid, why not, right? Let's see how many we can get. We're basically going to remelt all of this, all the runners, and all of this right here. And I think we'll easily bring this number up to 400. All right. We got some sunlight coming in here, so the lighting's a little whack. But there's everything we did with all the remelt. Yep. We stopped right at 400 baits. There was actually a little bit of remelt left, and I said, you know what? I'm over it. I hit my mark. 400 worms. So, and like I said at the beginning of the video, these are like your normal average size baits. Obviously, you're going to get a lot less frogs out of a gallon. You're going to get a lot less 10-inch ledge worms, 13-inch ledge worms, big swim baits, things like that. But for like your average size baits, yeah, you can get a crap ton out of 1 gallon of plastic. And we actually have a special guest who just got in from out of town, who's going to be filming with me this weekend. So you're going to see him in this video before you see the other videos. Let me introduce you guys to Larry Melton Jr. Oh wait, yeah. Who's this guy? Larry Melton Jr. came down to hang out. So, little teaser there. Y'all are about to see some content with Mr. Larry. He's been doing soft plastics on his channel now for what, a couple of months? About 2-3 months? Yeah. So
hopefully we'll get like Chris at one point though.
Yeah, no, we're gonna show him a lot of bait making stuff this weekend. So kind of similar to what we did with Norm, except he's already got experience. He knows how to make baits. We're just gonna show him a lot of other types of bait making, from, you know, more beginner stuff to some more advanced stuff. So he's gonna have a blast this weekend. I'm sure I will too. So yeah, that's a crap ton of worms. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
I think it's gonna be fun. Sending him home with some molds, but we'll get into that in one of the videos that we're actually collaborating on. This is just filler footage, so that's probably the most baits I've ever had in one video on this channel. So for any of y'all who were really wanting to know how much you can squeeze out of a gallon, that's what it looks like. And what's crazy is that that would never fit back into there. So yeah, you can get a ton of stuff out of it. That's for sure.